then enters my next phase of my life, which is having tenants. And looking back, I wish I would have just skipped completely over this step because it
Yeah.
was a nightmare, especially because I was chasing yield. So I was buying things in the south side of Chicago,
Yeah. Yeah.
middle of nowhere, Indiana, because I saw some high cap rate on some spreadsheet, but then in
Right.
reality, that's not what actually happens, right?
Yeah.
So we went a couple
Yeah.
years.
You're
Yeah, go
chasing
ahead.
a solid cash flow means very difficult tenants. Usually when the
Right.
cash flow is overwhelmingly like, how is this even possible? It's usually because the tenants are difficult or there's, undone repairs.
I'm just tell you right now, unless you're a huge company that knows how to operate in very challenging areas, you're not going to get those returns on paper. I'm just going to tell you.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
assume
Yeah.
60,
Exactly.
50% of the time you're not going to get rent.
Yeah.
So your 18 cap is now like an 8, right? Or less.
Exactly.
So it's
Right.
just not going to happen. So I got tired of tenants, toilets, and trash very quickly. You know, evictions that lasted 9 months, pouring concrete down the plumbing out of spite. It was just a nightmare. So I said, you know what? I can't deal with people anymore like this. So I said, okay, what assets can I go into where I don't deal with people? And the first was data centers. Didn't have, $100 million to mount up my first data center. So that was immediately out. The second
Yeah.
one was mobile home parks. And I called some people that I knew had mobile home parks and I was like, oh, they just rent the lot, right? And he's like, dude, that's not actually how it happens. Either you're going to
Yeah.
get those properties back, you're going to have tenants again. I'm just like, oh, okay. So that's not going to be
Yeah.
an option.
Yeah.
And then I found out about self-storage and it checked all of the boxes. I said, you know what? No evictions. No one's allowed to live in my asset.
Yeah.
Everything's made out of concrete and steel. You can't damage it, easily unless you run a truck into it. So I think this is the way that I'm going to go. And then immediately started to spin off my entire rental portfolio. I didn't even care what the price was. I wasn't even trying to get the highest price. I was just trying to
Right.
get rid of the headache.
Yeah.
So from 2016 to 2018, we were unwinding the rental portfolio, but I had to learn now a new asset class. So what did I do? I went back to my old friend wholesaling,
Yeah.
but this time I was dealing business owner to business owner, and it was much more gratifying because
Yeah.
I didn't have this feeling of, oh man, these people need this money to go pay rent, whatever. These guys already, we're talking minimum purchase price, $1 million,
Right. Right.
right? And I did this to test my knowledge and the market. If I could find a storage facility faster than a broker can find it, I can get it at a better price. And then I could sell it to someone that's got 30 years more experience than me for a higher price than I have for it. I'm probably doing something right.